Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel. As you guys can see by the title, I did create this look using the James Charles palette. I love this palette, you guys. All the colors that I used in here so far are amazing. I came up with this look right here. It's so gorgeous. I'm obsessed with the lid shade. I seriously cannot stop looking at myself in the monitor because the reflex in it are amazing. it's everything. So if you want to know how I got this look using the James Charles palette, then just keep on watching. I received this palette, I want to say on Tuesday, and it is now Saturday. So it has taken every bit of my soul and body not to swatch these shadows, not to play with them, just to keep them in pristine condition to show you guys the palette. So this is it right here. It's gorgeous. I've already modified mine a little bit. So this little plastic that says all the shade names usually sits right on top of them, but they're gonna get in the way. So I was like, where can I put them where I won't lose it, but still be able to find the names? So I just stuck it on the top with some painter's tape because I don't want to ruin the actual palette itself. And painter's tape is really gentle, so it's not gonna rip off any of the black. So this is what the palette looks like. She's beautiful. She has an array of gorgeous colors down here, some neutrals up here, and then your main colors in the middle. I'm sure that if you're a fan of James Charles, you already saw the video where he explained pretty much everything about the palette. He swatched it and all that jazz, so I'm really not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna do a makeup tutorial today. And the colors that I'm really gravitating towards are the purples in the palette, particularly this shade right here. It looks so freaking pretty. It's the one that stands out to me the most. So that's the eyeshadow that I'm gonna be primarily using today. This is gonna be the star of the show. So I'm probably gonna do a purple eye look. I already did my base, did my brows. I haven't primed my eyelids though, so I'm gonna do that on camera. When I watched the video of James where he was explaining how to use these and all of that, he did say to use a MAC paint pot. That was one of the primers he recommended to use. So I already had this in my collection. I don't really use it as much, but I'm gonna use it today. I use the shade Soft Ochre. I know he uses the shade Painterly. The only difference between the two is this one's more yellow and the Painterly is more pink. I'm going to take that on the Zoeva 142 concealer brush, very similar to the brush that he has in his Morphe brush set, and I think he uses it for the same reason. So I'm just going to apply this to the entire lid. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he does not set the primer when he does go in with eyeshadows, which is going to be really different for me because I always set my primers with powder before I start eyeshadow. But today, I'm not going to do that because he recommended that I don't do that. I'm a little bit nervous because I've never tried doing my eyeshadow this way, but I'm also excited to see if it steps up my eyeshadow game. I'm staying optimistic. So that's the eyes nice and primed. So I'm going to go into the palette and I'm going to take this shade right here, this purple one, which is called Single. And I'm going to take that on my Sigma E25 blending brush and pretty much just stamp this in my crease. Right off the gate, this is super pigmented and it looks beautiful. And for this eye look, I'm going to keep the shape of it quite rounded, not winging it out, just keeping it nice and round. So what I'm going to do is just pat this color onto my skin, depositing all of that color off of my brush and onto my skin. And then I'm going to switch brushes here in a second and blend it out with the fluffier brush. Okay, so that's that shade laid down. I'm going to grab more of that shade Single and do the exact same thing to the other eye. I do think that he said whenever you apply this shade Artistry, it's meant to be like a topper shade. So I'm going to swatch it really quick to see. That's the color. It's so beautiful. It's like a duochrome. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit sheer. It's not extremely pigmented. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he said that this can be layered to get like the pigment that you want, or it can go over a purple to be like a topper shade. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring this shade Single onto my lid as well, and then just put this on top of the shade Single. So I'm just going to pat this all over the lid. And I'm also not getting any fallout whatsoever from these eyeshadows, which is awesome. Okay, so now on a clean Zoeva 227 brush, I'm just going to go over the edges with that with no product. Obviously this brush is clean, so I'm just going to go over any of those edges and try and blend it out as much as I can. So I've blended what I could with no product on my brush. So now what I'm going to do is dip into Single, but grabbing a very small amount and just like patting it off onto my skin and then blending the edges with that. You guys, I just got a call from my sister. I'm getting a bunny. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so as I was blending, I must have gotten a little too excited. You see this little harsh line right here? I'm not sure what that is, but I'm not really too worried about it at this point because I am going to deepen up the eyeshadow look here in a second. And I also winged it out a little bit. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I couldn't help myself. I think that's good enough for that. So now what I'm going to do is grab this brush right here. This is the e.l.f. crease brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Escape, which is right next to it, which is the dark purple in the palette. And I'm going to apply this to the outer corner of my eye and into the crease to give my eye a little bit more depth. So I'm going to just tap off any of the excess because I don't want to get fallout. So I'm just going to first pat the color onto my skin, and then after I've deposited that color onto my skin, I'm just going to move my brush back and forth to help blend that color out. And that's pretty much how I'm going to go about applying this shade. Then to blend out the edges, I'm just going to move my brush in small circular motions to help blend those two shades together seamlessly. I did a makeup tutorial where I did a galaxy inspired makeup look, and I was using purple shadows from old Morphe brushes, and they were no good, you guys. Like, they were garbage. But these purple shadows from Morphe are so nice. They're super pigmented, they're not patchy whatsoever, they're blending out very nicely. So good job, James. I mean, I obviously expected nothing less from him because he's an artist and he knows what he's putting out. So I knew that that wasn't going to be an issue at all. So I'm going to go back into the Zoeva 227 blending brush, and I'm just going to blend out any of these edges right here, try and diffuse them a little bit more. Now I'm going to take that same brush that I was using to apply that dark purple, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Taking that shade Escape and just deepening out the outer corner a little bit more, and then just dragging that color into the crease. On this Zoeva 226 smudger brush, I'm going to go into the shade Single, which is the lighter purple in the palette, and I'm going to run this on my lower lash line, just stamping the color on there first, and then I'm going to blend it out with a blending brush. Then on a Morphe M562, I'm just going to blend out that purple. And I'm just going to continue to do these two steps until I get the shadow to the intensity that I want. Then on a Morphe M431, I'm going to go into the shade Escape, which is the color we used in the outer corner, and I'm just going to apply this closer to the lash line. Now for the part that I'm most excited for, I'm going to take the shade Artistry. I'm going to take some on my finger. So the way that I'm going to apply this color onto my lid is I'm just going to press and then swipe. So press and swipe, press and swipe. This is such a pretty shade, you guys. Like, it's gorgeous. I love the blue reflex in it as well. This shadow would have been perfect for that galaxy tutorial that I did. This palette would have been perfect for that look. So I'm just going to continue to pack this color on until I get it to the intensity that I like. This lid shade is everything. Look at how beautiful it is. This would be perfect for like if you go out clubbing or to like a party or something where there's going to be like a lot of lights, because this will catch the light so beautifully. Your eyes will be sparkling. And bring that all the way into the inner corner of the eye. Now to highlight the brow bone, I'm going to go into the shade Flashback, which is this big white shade right here. I'm honestly loving that Artistry shade so much that I really want to apply it to the inner corner of the eye as well, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little brush right here. It doesn't have a name on it, but I'm just going to take that shade Artistry and apply this to the inner corner of my eye. To add a little bit more depth to the lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Spooky, which is this black shade right here, on an angled brush, and I'm going to apply some of this to the lower lash line. I'm just going to pat it on there. And with my Morphe M562, I'm just going to blend it out. So I wanted to add a pop of color into my waterline, so I went in with the LA Girl Glide Gel Liner in the shade Aquatic. And now I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara and apply some lashes. The lashes that I'm going to be using today are these right here from the brand Irimika Lash. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That always happens. But this is what they look like, so I'm going to go ahead and pop these on and I'll be right back. So once you've applied your lashes and mascara, you're pretty much done with the entire look. Overall, I'm super impressed with the purples in the James Charles palette. I think that they worked so well. They blended nicely. They were super pigmented and they look amazing. I mean, just look at the eyeshadow. It's so pretty. So I'm super excited to continue to play with this palette. I of course really want to make it a mission to use every single shade in this palette, which is really going to take me out of my comfort zone because I'm so used to like neutrals, but I really want to stay away from these and really stick to the colorful parts in this palette, because that's honestly the main reason why I purchased this James Charles palette in the first place, was just to really get out of my comfort zone, play with color, get a little bit more creative with my eye makeup looks, because I'm a neutral girl through and through. Like, neutrals are my jam. Colorful looks are not something that I normally do, but it's something that I want to do more of, which is why I purchased this palette, because it's really inspired me to want to unleash my inner artist and just be more creative with makeup looks. So if there's any colorful looks that you guys want to see here on my channel, please leave them down in the comments below and I will recreate those for you. So yeah, you guys, this is pretty much the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification to be notified every time I upload a new video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!